My name's Lewis Brown, and I've been working on the recycling project for Paramo clothing, and this is my father, Nick Brown, and he's the managing director of the company.
Thanks, Lewis. Can you tell us something about the recycling project?
Effectively, we've been looking for a way for people to safely dispose of old jackets that they don't need anymore, that they've grown out of, that they don't suit them anymore, and to give people an incentive to bring those jackets back to us and so that we can recycle them or refurbish them.
So, I mean, I can explain maybe that the jackets that we've got, the Paramo jackets, are part of a system which is called Nickwax Analogy, and part of that system is that they can be reproofed using Nickwax products, and they're designed to have a use which will last a lifetime. Now, not everybody obviously is going to want to keep a jacket for a lifetime, but the garments are exceptionally durable, and that gives us an opportunity because it means that we can bring garments back in and potentially resell them on to people who can't afford to buy a brand new one. And that's been part of the project that Lewis has been working on, apart from looking at those garments which are really completely at the end of their life and they need to be put into some sort of recycling scheme which will optimise the raw materials. Well, Paramo came about as a spin-off from Nickwax about 25 years ago, which is a very long time ago. Nickwax developed some products which could be used in a washing machine for putting water repellency back onto clothing. And I always thought that we could probably design the ideal kind of clothing to put through a washing machine to get the maximum effect from that product. And Paramo really was the result of that. It was the result of experimenting with fabrics to see if we could make use of the washing machine process to arrive at a garment that was going to perform better than other things that were out there. But at a fairly early stage we tried to sell this on to other companies who were making garments, and they weren't terribly interested. We then started experimenting with making garments, and we suddenly discovered, as a result of a write-up in a Ramblers magazine, that there was a demand for this stuff. And in fact, we didn't even have any production, and we got orders for 300 garments by people just hearing about the performance of one of our samples. So what started off as a technical project ended up being a project which became more of a social project, really, in many ways, and still is. And we hope to succeed at both levels, and I think we are. We've got a very good reputation in the UK, and because of the way we make the garments and the systems we use, it means that we make things which are exceptionally durable, and that's where this fits in with this idea of being able to, for people to be able to bring back their garments, cash them in, and those garments being passed on to further users. So the whole thing fits together with making garments that people want to wear, work for them, function very well for them, using manufacturing which is helping people to develop themselves and develop a better way of life, and finally giving people an opportunity to get into our clothing system at a relatively affordable price.
We're starting from a very good point. We have a product which can be recycled relatively easily. Firstly, we can refurbish them relatively easily. We can send it down to the seamstresses, and they can easily stitch it together without tape seams, without having to do any moulding or anything like that. So we're starting from a good place, and we don't use mixed materials, so it's 100% polyester, which means that anything that we can't refurbish, we can actually we can actually send for a chemical process which will break it down and make it back into quality fabric. We're actually offering something back to the consumers. Here's your incentive to do it, and then we take it from there.
So essentially, on the waterproof garments, if someone brings a waterproof garment in, they get a £50 voucher which they can then spend on a new garment.
That's right.
And that seems to be working. So we've got a few benefits that we can see. I mean, in the first instance, from our point of view, we're getting people who can afford it into our new equipment to get the most up-to-date and the most effective equipment for them. So from another point of view, we're encouraging people who maybe can't afford to go in at that level to come in, spend less money, but also appreciate the fact that Paramo is going to work for them. And finally, we've now got a situation where pretty well everything, one way or another, is either going to get reused or recycled.
As long as people participate, there's the potential for us to really take responsibility for all the stuff that we've put out there, all the jackets and all the trousers and all the material that we've put out there. And I feel certainly that as a business we should be trying to take responsibility for that environmental impact. We do all kinds of other things around the business to try and minimise impacts, but we have direct control over those things, but we don't have direct control over how people dispose of our products once they've come to the end of their life. But now we're trying to take it back and giving an incentive which hopefully will mean that people participate, which is great.